Anybody needs a tarot question, yeah, so I'm just here to see if anybody needs a question. Today's questions are $5. And I do the free questions on Sunday. Yes, hello. I don't know if anybody's going to come into the chat today, but I thought I would make myself available for a brief period of time for anybody who might need a tarot question answered. I also just did do a live discussion about heartbreak and healing and rumination, so check that out. How's everyone doing out there in YouTube land? I have rented a room, reserved a room in the library to be able to bring you these lives today. How is everyone? I wonder if anybody is being notified, if YouTube is notifying everybody. Anyways, yeah, so the next few days I might be preoccupied. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do the live on Sunday as I normally do. I might have to do it next week, but hopefully I can still bring it to you. But yeah, I'm here today for anybody who has a question. Let's see what the tarot has to say as a collective for anybody who might come across this later. I know a lot of you guys are probably, I don't normally do lives at this time. This is different for me, so we'll see. I don't have the setup to go through the elements, but probably in the future I'll go through the signs while we wait for people to pop in the chat. But for now, let's just talk about the cards that pop out. Today's tarot is brought to you by Millennium Thought. This tarot deck, which I love. It's a beautiful deck. First card out. What do we have? First card out for anyone who might come across this later, aka you. Let's see, what's the first card out? Let's take a jumper. We'll take a jumper. First card out, Nine of Pentacles. Okay, so some of us could be trying to, hello. How's everybody doing out there in YouTube land? Nine of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune. This is great energy to have as a general. Of course, the Wheel of Fortune is destiny. The Wheel of Fortune is destiny. And the destiny, if you can see on this card, we have, I don't know, that's either a crocodile or an alligator. We have a sphinx, and then we have the monkey. So this is destiny. And the Wheel of Fortune in the upright is going to bring you destiny and divine timing. There could be some kind of destiny having to do with your wealth or your career. Nine of Pentacles, I always see that as somebody who is trying to be financially stable. Not always the entrepreneur, but somebody who would like to be the entrepreneur. Hey, everybody. The chat is open for anybody who wants to donate for a $5 question. And I will just going to read a collective reading for everybody out there, okay? The destiny is finally upon us. I don't know what's going on in the astrology right now. There was an eclipse this month. But anyways, destiny is out there for anybody who wants to be financially independent. What is it that we could be choosing from? Some of you guys could actually be going to the zoo, or to see some animals here. Like I said, we have the monkey, the sphinx, and I think that's either a crocodile or an alligator. And if you are into spirituality, you can look up what all these animals mean and find your spirit animal. Animals talk to us and bring us messages all the time. So it is good to look up the meaning of that. Seven of Wands. So there is some resistance to our destiny here. Why is the Seven of Wands there? Why is the Seven of Wands there? Hello, everybody. Today is a stream for all of you all. If anybody wants to donate to the channel, feel free, and we'll do a question. There's resistance here, 10 of Wands. So something feels heavy. Something feels like a burden. The thing about the 10 of Wands is that it's a burden of responsibility. It's like something that is chosen. And when it comes to destiny, destiny isn't always chosen. Amanda says, boyfriend left. I'm sorry to hear that. How do you feel now that your boyfriend left? Do you feel as though this could be a life lesson for you? Actually, if you're feeling heartbroken right now, you could go and watch the last live that I put out about heartbreak and rumination. And it could really help you to discuss the heartbreak and the rumination. I always see it as a fortune. Amanda says, I know it is. Yeah. People come into our lives and they're meant to teach us things. And sometimes when they leave, we learn an even greater lesson. Everything is our destiny. Yeah, and it can be... The reason I love the Wheel of Fortune is because it's karma. So it's not always good. Sometimes it's in reverse and it's bad because you haven't cleared the end. I see it as not having cleared your auras, what's blocked, what's blocking you. But I love that. Yeah, and it is a burden of responsibility. It's a burden of responsibility to have a relationship, and it's a burden of responsibility to not have one. 7 of Pentacles. I think a lot of people feel as though relationships are a waste of time right now and that they're more hard work than they're worth. Give me a card on destiny here. Anybody who's feeling as though they're lost in a relationship or without a relationship. Give me a card for anybody who feels lost. Amanda says, well, yes, less to not have. 5 of Wands. So anybody who's feeling lost right now, whether you have a relationship or not, you could potentially be dealing with the 5 of Wands. You can look up what the 5 of Wands is. The 5 of Wands is usually struggle. 5s in tarot are struggle. And I always see the 5 of Wands as an internal battle, but it can literally also be fighting. So, there could have been a relationship recently that ended or that you're currently in that had a lot of arguing or had a lot of struggle. And the reason that that's manifesting on the outside is because you have internal struggle. And everybody has internal struggle. It's just the natural state of things. Okay, to be human is to suffer. That's what we say in Zen Buddhism. How can we clear this 5 of Wands? If you're met with resistance, that's because you have resistance within you. How can we clear this 5 of Wands from our relationship karma? The Hanged Man, having a deeper perspective. Having a deeper perspective. I loved the Hanged Man because the Hanged Man challenges you to look at your part in the relationship. And it challenges you to see things from the other person's point of view. Amanda says, want to get over, get under. Actually, I think that that's just delaying the healing process. And in fact, Amanda says, yeah, he pickies. So yeah, if you're still experiencing heartbreak, it's not going to be good for you to get into a relationship right away. No, in fact, it's going to make you feel more empty inside. Because what you really desire is true connection. And, whenever we entangle ourselves with somebody, you're taking on their karma and their energy. So it's actually not good to get into another relationship when you're fresh out of one. Oh, okay, he's a Pisces. Are you trying to say Pisces? I'm sorry to hear the news. Amanda, what lesson did you learn from that relationship? What could you have done differently? What could you have done differently? Hello, Jazz. How are you? Now, just keep in mind today's questions are a $5 donation. I'm just kind of reading the general energy and having a discussion. Discussion doesn't cost anything. Never let him in. Amanda says, never let him in. Is that what happened in your relationship? That you weren't vulnerable? I know what it's like. I know what it's like to have difficulty opening up to someone, especially if you have come from a lot of relationships where you couldn't trust that person. If you had a lot of relationships that taught you to not trust your partner, then it is going to be very difficult for you to be vulnerable, for you to let someone in, for you to share that type of intimacy. So, and in fact, you're probably going to attract, if you're, it would sound to me like you're an avoidant, probably like to avoid confrontation, things like that. You could actually attract an anxious person. But I actually believe deep down that there's more relationship styles than just anxious and avoidant attachment. And in fact, if you're attracting an avoidant, you're probably somewhat avoidant yourself. Oh, you're a Libra? So the thing is that when it comes to astrology, I really only like to look at the whole natal chart because in astrology, we look only at the sun sign, and that's actually very inaccurate. You have to look at the rising sign. You have to look at the whole natal chart, but yeah, so that's a whole nother topic. But yeah, I'm so sorry to hear of your breakup and that you're struggling with learning how to open up. But the first step is to admit. So it sounds like you already know what you need to work on. Now the next step is going to be to develop a plan and a support network to help you work through that. And for me, I don't really try to attract relationships anymore. I'm trying to think of it differently. It's more like I'm open to receive, and I'm open to experience and to see where this can lead me, because what we do when we meet somebody is we put a lot of expectations on them. And it can be really heartbreaking when somebody doesn't meet those expectations, because we build up this idea in our head and we don't allow things to unfold naturally. Yeah. But also, I know there's a lot of memes out there, and it can be dangerous to listen to memes because memes are very general. It's generalizing. It's not specific to you and your relationship with your higher self or whatever, because that can come between you. It can come between you and anyone else. Would anybody like to donate for a question today? I'm going to ask a question myself. So, how can I help the subscribers or anybody who comes across this? How can we help? How can Spirit help anybody who comes across this? The Sun card. This is actually one of my favorite cards in this deck. See, it's the Sun. It's 2 angels, and it's the zodiac. It's all the zodiac signs. I know a lot of you guys would probably love to have a natal chart reading. Okay, why the Sun? Let's see. I didn't bring my holders today. Why the Sun? Why is the Sun here as advice to how I can help? Oh. How's everyone doing out there? Let me know in the comments. The Tower. Oh, wow. Tower upside down. So in this card, or in this deck, the Tower is divine intervention. Don't be afraid of the Tower. It is Scorpio energy, okay? Scorpio, the agent of change. But do you see in this deck, there is a eye right there. And the eye is in the sky. And it's opening up and it's shining light onto the tower that's falling over right there. We're seeing how destiny is being played out with this tower coming down. Why is the tower here? It's good to see. So I feel like what my guides are telling me is to realize the things that are happening to you are divine intervention. So if there is a breakup or if there is something bad happening, that's divine intervention. And we have the High Priestess here, which is actually Pisces energy, but it came out in reverse. So and in this deck, in the Thought deck, this is the deck we're using right now, the High Priestess in reverse says you're not seeing how powerful you are. You're denying your capabilities and you're not trusting your divine abilities. You're not trusting in your power and in your intuition. I know in spirituality, we always say to trust the gut. Sometimes your gut is full of anxiety, and so you don't listen to it. And so it's good to get other people's perspective on your power, because everybody out there, everybody who is human, has psychic and intuitive abilities. It is up to you to develop and lean into that. Okay? And a lot of the times when a tower moment happens, a breakup, or you lose your job, anything bad that happens that's outside your control, we reevaluate our self-worth and we question ourselves, like, was I even good enough to have that thing in the first place? Yes, you were. So I love this combination together because it is saying to remind yourself that everything is a divine lesson. Everything is meant to show you where you're supposed to go. And I just have to, I love this deck. Okay, what else do we have for anybody who might come across this? How's everyone doing out there? Let me know in the comments how you guys are doing. And if you haven't checked it out yet, please look at my I did 2 lives today. Check out my live on heartbreak and rumination. That could help you get over the ruminating, the thoughts, okay? 6 of Pentacles, I love that. Why is the 6 of Pentacles here for the collective? Oh. Okay, 5 of Cups and the Star. You have the ability to create things with the Magician and the Star. The Star card in this deck, do you see how she's dousing herself with glitter? So the glitter is actually the will of source, or whatever it is that you believe it's out there. And with these 2 cards together, you have the ability to create and to make things happen more so than you realize. And Source is here to provide the tools to help you get over a situation that is challenging or to create new opportunities in your life. And the 6 of Pentacles is the balance, okay? Sometimes things happen for us when in our time of need, right? Like, because the 6 of Pentacles can be charity, can be giving to charity, you know, giving, but it can also be balance. Sometimes we'll get things out of nowhere that we need, that we didn't know that we needed, right when we need it, and that is divine timing. Divine timing. Any last words for anyone who might come across this? 6 of Swords. 6 of Swords, moving on. The 6 of Swords is literally, it's almost like the 8 of Cups energy, but I see it as physically moving. 8 of Cups is emotional, and the 6 of Cups is actually physically relocating. Six of Cups, Six of Swords. Why the Six of Swords? Okay, the Universe, the Ten of Swords. In this deck, the Universe, this represents creation, right? But it's also releasing things to the universe. That means taking your hands off the wheel. You don't have control. We don't always have all control of everything, right? We don't have control of another person's free will. And so this is kind of saying, let go, release, allow things to happen the way they're supposed to. If something's hard right now, that's because there's a lesson that you're meant to learn and to be guided to the next thing. The Universe. I love this card actually because it's so very depictive. You see there's just an opening and this is space, and yeah, I don't understand. She's got the snake there. And in fact, in spirituality, the snake is change. So more Scorpio energy. We have the Tower and the Universe, which is to accept the change and allow ourselves to let things unfold the way they're supposed to without having too much of a reaction to it, without being too viscerally reactive towards anything that might happen. And what that can look like is handling a breakup or a job loss without having a total breakdown. And I'm gonna refer back to my Zen teaching. Sit with it. Don't do anything about it. Sit with the discomfort until it passes, because there's something bigger at play here. It's not a punishment to you. It's meant to teach you, and it's meant to build you. It's meant to take you to the next lesson, take you to the next place that you need to be, right? So when something falls apart, probably it wasn't meant to be in your life in the first place. And the reason that we hold on to it is because there's a lot of reasons why. Number one, the ego. Number two, control. Number three, there's something that we really, really wanted. We may or may not realize that we don't need it, but we think that we need it for one reason or another. So release it, allow the changes to happen, flow with the changes, and realize that you're more powerful than you give yourself credit for. And source, or whatever you believe in, has created an abundance of resources for you to go and do whatever it is that you want to do next. And you do have limitations. We all have limitations. You can't just, I want to be a bird so I can fly. Well, that's not realistic. You have to work within your limitations. Those limitations are also meant to teach you something as well. I don't know if a lot of you guys believe this or not, but in spirituality, it is said that we choose who we're born unto. We choose our parents. And if you believe that we choose our parents before we're born, that means that you also have chosen your shortcomings. So any kind of faults that you have, or any kind of things that you think are not good, you chose that before you came here. Because you have a mission. You have a mission. And it's there for your disposal. All the resources are there for you to use. And the limitations are meant to teach you something. So, see your weaknesses as strength. Two of Wands in reverse, poor planning. It takes a lot of planning. It takes vision to be able to enact things. Right? So, and another example would be, I want to be a doctor, but I don't want to go to school. You got to go to school to be able to be a doctor. And you have to have student loans to be able to have school. So even though there's resources at your disposal, we are very powerful beings. We've accepted our limitations. We see our shortcomings as strength. You still have to have vision, forethought, metacognition, and you still have to plan. Get that to-do list together, because you're not going to be able to make things without the forethought, right? What do my subscribers need to hear right now? to Four Swords. Four of Swords can be seen in many ways. Four of Swords can be seen as a break. It can be seen as needing to rest more, but it can also be seen as taking a step back to think about what it is. A lot of you guys could be in no contact with someone right now. That could be why you're feeling restless, okay? Four of Swords. Why is the Four of Swords here? No contact is an important part of your journey. The Fool, that's if you're feeling as though things are stalled right now in any part of your life, that's because there's a new start right around the corner waiting for you. The Fool is actually very spiritual, okay? I see the Fool as somebody who is setting out on a journey to learn who they are, to sometimes I even see it as physical travel. Like you're embarking on a new chapter in your life and be the Fool again, all right? The Fool has to learn from the bottom. The Fool is the first sign of the zodiac, okay? And he needs to learn. They need to, regardless of gender, the Fool is on a spiritual journey to learn themselves and to be able to move on to the next chapter. It takes forethought, it takes planning, it takes courage. The only warning here would be to not be naive. The Fool can be very naive. So this is the second time I'm seeing a crocodile or an alligator in today's live. So please look up the spiritual meaning of crocodile and alligator. Believe it or not, animals are guides. They're guides. They teach us lessons. For example, I saw a raccoon and it was not alive. Okay, I don't know if you know this, raccoons, if you see a live raccoon and they're no longer living, that is a sign to see your family. I saw this raccoon and a few weeks later, one of my family members passed away. So if you see an animal in real life, that is a sign for you. Look up the meaning of that. I will look up the meaning of, I'm not sure if this is a crocodile or an alligator. I'm going to look up the meaning of that after this live. I suggest you do the same. That's a message. What's this alligator crocodile message for my subscribers right now? What is this animal trying to tell us? For some of you guys, it could be about water. The Aeon in reverse. The Aeon is somebody, it's like the phoenix rising from the ashes. And in reverse, it's once again denying your power, denying your capability. Keeping yourself stuck is gonna be a block from you achieving your goals. You have the abilities to achieve your goals. Unless you have self-doubt. The Aeon in reverse, resistance to the call. Exactly, you're resisting the call, meaning source's will. What were you put on this earth to do? You weren't meant to suffer over heartbreak. That's not why we put you here. Hiding from achieving your highest potential, missing the mark. A lot of you guys are not achieving your potential because you're suffering, or because you're denying yourself, or because you're living in self-doubt or fear, or you're attaching yourself to people who are only distracting you from what you're meant to do here. And the Fool is also somebody who has a mission. The Fool has a mission. The Fool has a guide. We are put here on this earth to do something. We all have a higher calling. It could be something simple like making someone smile. Do you realize that we walk around and we look at our phones more than we look at other people? What if you looked at someone and smiled and that saved that person's life? We all have a mission. Don't deny your mission. Don't deny your power. Don't question your worth because you got dumped, broken up with. Don't question your value and your worth because of your circumstances. Rise up to the occasion, okay? There is a purpose here. There's a higher calling here. And we're all meant to know what our purpose is. How can I help? All right. Oh, Ace of Cups. How can I help today? How's everyone doing out there? Everyone's pretty quiet in the chat. I just put up a live a heartbreak about heartbreak and rumination. If that interests you, go ahead and watch it. Let's see. 5 of Wands. Okay. So how can I help? By allowing you to see how your internal struggle is attracting people into your life that are leading you away from the path or from your calling or from your happiness, okay? Certain people are put here to distract us, and they're going to be a mirror for whatever it is that we're struggling through. Believe it or not, the people you attract into your life are a reflection of you, are a reflection of your struggle. So I know we all want to talk badly about the people that we used to be intimate with, but those people are a reflection of your trauma and your baggage and your dark night of the soul. They're a reflection of you. 4 of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups. I sometimes I can see the 4 of Pentacles out here as like a housing insecurity or holding on to things. Queen of Cups in reverse. So yeah, I understand a poverty mindset and having a lot of emotions, okay? So 4 of Pentacles is having a poverty mindset, holding on to your wealth, actually. I know a lot of readers will tell you that 4 of Pentacles is like holding on to a person. Not really. 4 of Pentacles is usually about finances, and that can affect your relationship as well. It can affect relationships if your finances aren't, if you are not in control of your finances. It can affect your relationships. Queen of Cups in reverse is a very overly emotional type of energy. Okay. 3 of Pentacles, learning to work together. So it's good to see relationships as a partnership because they're a partnership, and you want to attach yourself with someone who's going to help you achieve your goals. You don't want to attach yourself or work together with someone who's going to take you away from your goals, right? Because then that's when you're going to have more struggle, more suffering, and you could even feel lost or confused if you allow yourself to attach yourself to someone who doesn't support you and your goals, okay? It's very important. Woo! Knight of Cups in reverse. I see the Knight of Cups in reverse as kind of falling for somebody who love bombs. It's a little bit of that sort of naivete that I was talking about earlier, to be able to see through somebody's manipulation tactics. It takes a really long time to know someone. It can take a few years to know someone. And it's even harder to get to know somebody who doesn't know themselves. So if you're out there dating and you haven't gotten in touch with yourself, you don't know who you are, you could attract somebody who is not compatible with you because you don't know who you are. So also, it can lead someone on. Sometimes we're just going out there and we're dating because we are lost and we use relationships as a distraction. So that's how I see the Knight of Cups in reverse, as somebody who is very charming and is a little bit of an emotional manipulator, overly emotional, kind of filling the void with flirtation. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here, you guys. Of course, I'm always available for readings. I will try to do the free yes or no questions as per usual on Sunday, if anybody needs that. Oh, wow. Don't resist change. Don't resist change. If something needs to end, allow it to end. Hierophant in reverse, make sure that you're in touch with your spirituality. It can also, the Hierophant in reverse can be kind of somebody who is, I want to say, not very traditional. It's not traditional, but also overly religious. Why is the Hierophant here in reverse? Prince of Cups. So I just feel as though sometimes having too much spirituality can be challenging for some people, for the Prince of Cups. So what I'm seeing here is don't resist the change, okay? Don't just recognize if you have differences in your belief systems. If you have a difference of belief system with you and your partner, that can be a huge conflict of interest, and it can be difficult to have compatibility with somebody. Like, for example, if you're a Lutheran and your partner is Muslim, that can be a huge conflict of interest. And it can take a long time to actually realize that a relationship wouldn't work. So allowing time in the relationship to get to know each other and to know whether or not it's viable for a long-term relationship based on your beliefs, based on who you are, based on where you see yourself going. You have to be real. You have to be realistic. And anyway, so I'm going to leave things on that note. And I'm always available for a reading if you email me. And I will hope to be doing the free yes or no questions this weekend as per usual. Thank you, everybody. I hope that you have a great rest of your day. I'll see y'all later.